Hi, everyone. Happy Magic Monday. Hey, Lorna.
Hey, Christine, how are you?
Doing great. Happy Monday. Happy Magic Monday.
Happy Monday.
So, maybe some of you saw the title of today's little episode here today. Maybe it was a bit of a grabber, which we hope it was, because it's a juicy topic again, to get your attention here, focus on some really cool things. So, Lauren and I, we work with a lot of clients. We've done this for many years. We host retreats, women's retreats. We coach our women's clients, and one of the things that always, comes up, comes through the door in more ways than one, is I'm done. I'm done with him. I'm done with him. That's it. I can't take it anymore. I'm fed up.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm done with my marriage and I can't do this anymore.
Right.
And Christine, what is it that we always tell people? We say, that's a choice. And of course, if that's what you really need to do, we understand, but there's something else you need to understand also, which is that if you don't deal with the issues that are in your marriage and the reasons that you want to leave your husband, you will simply recreate them in another relationship, whether that be in another intimate relationship or with a boss or with a friend or with a child. The issues that you have probably been with you for most of your life, and they will continue if you don't deal with what that is before you move on.
Exactly. So we don't want to have, our entanglements and our problems and our patterns follow us only to create what we might call self-sabotage, right? Our next relationship. And, it takes a fair amount of responsibility and sort of consciousness. Really, this is the doorway into it, right? So it's not about blame and it's not about making yourself feel bad, but it's really taking an honest inventory of your role in the situation, right?
Right. And we talk about this in regard to marriage, but it applies to many other things also, right? So often we see in marriage, one marriage ends, then another marriage ends. Or you quit a job because of this awful boss that you have. You get a new job and you have the same situation. It's just this, the same situation, different person.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Yeah, why is that, right? And it's so we go into this place of, well, if only my husband would do X, Y, and Z, and if only the boss would stop doing this and say this and that and the other. And again, we're not talking about, situations where there's clear, abuse of power and emotional and physical abuse. We're really talking about sort of, humdrum misery that a lot of people deal with that really get them to that edge.
And we just want to point a finger. We want to say, if they would change, this would all be better. And if I just get out of the situation, it's all going to go away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way. And that's why we say, watch us today before you do one of these things. Because if you don't take responsibility for your part in it and how these patterns repeat in your life for all of these years, because you'll probably see that whatever it is you're dealing with in your marriage or at your job, you've been dealing with for a really long time. It's not until you can identify that, which is the magic, right, that we can change it.
Right. So, and so looking at our role, looking at our patterns and our knee-jerk responses, maybe that all too, sort of have become our way of being, is what we're talking about here, right? So a lot of it is, if we do that internal work and evaluation, we can actually trace back, where those patterns happened, where those self-limiting beliefs and stories that we tell ourselves happened, right? And when we do that, when we come into this place, we take our power back. And that's what's pretty amazing. And that's, again, the alchemy in the situation, is that you're able to deal with a certain set of events and circumstances outside of you, but because of the work that you're doing inside around consciousness, around awareness, around compassion, right? You transform it, right? And the landscape changes. And the options on the menu and what to do also shift, right?
Right. And when we stop pointing the finger, when we stop blaming, that's when we can make those changes within ourselves. That's when we can say, okay, well, he does those things, but this is actually how I contribute to this situation. And these are the choices that I made, to be in this situation. And I have to own those things. And then from that place, we can start to shift. We can start to make different choices. We can start to interact differently. We can start having the same conversation, but dealing with it differently so that we change the dance, and everything can start to shift.
Yeah.
And it's really only, it doesn't matter if that the other person doesn't know we're doing this. It can, as one person does it, the dance has to change if one person changes.
Yeah, and that's pretty powerful, right? Because again, you're taking our power back from the events, the people, the places, circumstances that we have absolutely zero control over, right? And putting our attention and our focus on things that we do 100% control over, and that's our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions and our reactions and the meanings that we make of things, right? And that's a great place to really create real change, so that if in fact, whatever the choice is, to stay or to leave, you come, I always say, get your happy back first, right? Is that what we say?
Yes.
Get happy, then leave, whatever that, whether it's a job that's just not working out anymore, or a partnership, or a marriage, or a friend even, right? But at the end of the day, you're leaving the situation whole and intact and able to go on to the next thing, whole and intact.
Right, and it's a lot easier to leave from a place of responsibility than from a place of blame. Because think about how that goes if you're separating or divorcing from someone. If you're pointing the finger and blaming everything on them, that's probably not going to be a very good transition. Whereas if you are happy before you leave, it can finish very differently.
Yeah, it changes the how things unfold, right? You, again, take your power back. So.
Yeah, and the thing about this, Christine, is you and I know that identifying these patterns and identifying our responsibility is the first huge step, right? Because you can't do anything when you're in a position of victim. Right. And so recognizing it is awesome, but that's also the beginning, right? And then it's a matter of dealing with these patterns and dealing with the core values and the core beliefs that are going on that are having you think in these ways. And women work with us, and people come on retreats with us, and this is what we do with the women that we work with. And
we help you shine that light of consciousness, right? And figure out what's fact or fiction, right? What you want to leave behind. We always say, we help you rewrite your story, right? And in that way, we don't have to work off the story that isn't working so well anymore. We actually get to step into one that is working for what's going on and who you are now.
Right? Which is just as true.
It's true.
Your role in what's going on.
Are you ready to take the power back? Are you ready to see that all you have to do is shift your attention and your focus, and have a deep desire to become super awake in this whole process we call life, right? Because we're kind of in trance, right? And things just keep happening to us. Things keep happening to us. What if that wasn't the case? What if you actually came from a place of you're creating all the time, and what you think and what you say and what you do all the time is within your ability to change, the dance.
Yeah, and taking that power back is one of the best days of my life, that's for sure.
Yep, it feels amazing.
It's incredible. So happy Magic Monday, everybody, and hope this was helpful, and would love to hear your thoughts.
Reshare. All right.
Yeah, everybody.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.